flowers die in 3 days. Matching underwear from MeUndies? That's a gift that lasts. MeUndies creates matching prints for couples and friends. Same adorable designs and different cuts for each of you. All made from their signature ultra-modal fabric that feels impossibly soft. With 30 million pairs sold and 90,000 5-star reviews, MeUndies matching prints are the perfect gift. Valentine's Day is February 14th, so don't wait. Get exclusive deals up to 50% off at MeUndies.com/comfort, code COMFORT. That's MeUndies.com/comfort, code COMFORT.
This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. U.S. officials have told NATO allies to keep an open mind and avoid trade escalation as President Trump tries to convince European powers into accepting an American takeover of Greenland. Tom Howell and Jeff Murdoch report Trump refused to say how far he would go to pressure allies over the Arctic island ahead of a series of economic meetings scheduled at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Trump will face a hostile crowd at the gathering of business and political leaders. European leaders say the world is backsliding and that cycles of geopolitical and economic upheaval have been counterproductive. Trump is weighing new tariffs on 8 European nations over their defense of Denmark's control of Greenland. Trump has made his obsession with not winning the Nobel Peace Prize part of his foreign policy. The president also used a White House news conference before leaving for Switzerland to criticize his opponents. Mallory Wilson and Mary McHugh Bell report he slammed prosecutors who pursued him for charges of falsifying business records and attempting to overturn the 2020 presidential election as sick. He also attacked Representative Ilhan Omar and fellow Somali migrants in Minnesota, calling Somalia the worst country in the world. Critics say Democrats and newly sworn-in Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger's agenda will raise costs and introduce crippling regulations. Susan Ferricchio reports Republicans in Richmond say bills to create a sales tax on Amazon, FedEx, and Uber Eats deliveries, a tax of up to 10% on admission to certain events and businesses, and an 8% tax on people earning more than $600,000 annually are some of the proposals they oppose. The first woman to lead the Old Dominion, Spanberger was elected after campaigning as a moderate Democrat who would improve affordability. In an address Monday to the Virginia General Assembly, she outlined an agenda focused on reducing the costs of health care, energy, and housing. Russia's influence in the Middle East is at its lowest point since the collapse of the Soviet Union. Once a key power broker from Algeria to Iran, Joseph Hammond reports Russia is now reduced to transactional diplomacy and largely symbolic military posturing. Iran is Russia's closest ally in the Middle East and a de facto ally in its invasion of Ukraine. Still, Russia's ability and willingness to actively support its interest in the Middle East are just a fraction of what they were. And finally, the Department of Homeland Security has paid out roughly 100,000 bonuses to illegal immigrants who have registered to self-deport through a government app. Alex Sawyer and Stephen Dinan report most of those were $1,000 payments, though the department experienced a surge when it offered a bonus $3,000 holiday payment last month. Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said the total is significantly lower than the $17,000 it costs to arrest, detain, and fly out a typical illegal immigrant. Find all today's stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. And a quick programming note, the front page will be off for the remainder of the week and return on Monday, January 26th. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.